Today, I wanted to give you 5 ways to eliminate hurry from your life. If you've been watching in the weeks before this, you know we've been working our way through. There's 20 of them. I want to give you 5 today. Again, they are based on Comer's book that I listed in the post details, Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. I usually don't want to give you 5 because I think it doesn't give us time to practice all of them, but they're kind of related, so I felt it was important to group them together. Good morning. Today is Friday, July 29th. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever time it is that you're watching. It sounds like the Truman Show. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and watch Truman. You'll get that. But anyway, it's July 29th, Friday, 2022. We're almost through July already. But here's what you're here for. I've been accused of the jokes that I use being dad jokes, and that may be true. I am a dad after all. But did you know when does a joke become a dad joke? When it's fully grown. Groan. That's a perfect one right there. Did most of you didn't know this? I used to date an archaeologist, but I had to break up with her. She kept digging up the past. Yes, getting better as we go, right? And then we're going to go back to the groaners. Do you know how snails fight? They just slug it out. There, you can tell those to your kids, grandkids, whatever, and enjoy the best of those. I know this is why most of you watch. So anyway, by the way, if you have jokes, I have a list, but I try not to use the same ones over and over. If you have some good ones, send them to me. Appreciate that. Anyway, let's get to our 5 things for the day. Many of us like to think that we're good at multitasking. I happen to think that women are better at it than men. I think guys are better on focusing on one thing. Often that's what wives complain about their husbands, that they can only do one thing at a time. But our suggestion for today, actually would be our 14th one of the 20, is to single task. We like to pride ourselves on how many things we can do at once, right? So focus intensely and solely on whatever task is ahead of you, and see if your results aren't better, and you're more able to do that more often. For many of us, that may take some work. We're easily distracted, and we have certainly discovered that about our prayer lives also, right? So single task. The next one would be a way to eliminate hurry from your life. Walk slower. Why are we in such a hurry anyways? Those few seconds that we save by walking faster really going to profit us that much? What are you going to do with those few extra seconds? I think a lot of the time we walk fast so that we feel like we have something important to accomplish, or we're a busy, important person. I know that I am guilty often of being in conversations with people and leaving them too soon because I feel like I have something important to do or something pressing that has to be done right now. And I often feel bad about it afterwards, nevertheless. So I also don't like to make other people wait on me. But as I thought about that, it may be important for other people to wait so they can cultivate this unhurried life that we've been talking about as well. So there's the first 2 today. Single task, walk slower. The next thing would be take a regular day alone for silence and solitude. That may be hard depending on your life stage, if you have family and kids and so forth. And it just may be the hardest one for many to do. We're not used to practicing a Sabbath day. The reality is it's one of the 10 Commandments, right? Exodus chapter 20, verse 8, to remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. I'll just leave that there and let you work the rest of the way through that on your own. Number 17, or number 4 for the day, take up journaling. Some of you do that. I know some people who have done that for most of their adult lives. I have done it for certain time periods, several vacations. I like to do that because I find that I was so forgetful about what happened on every day that I had to write it down to remember, but for other reasons as well. It doesn't have to be handwritten, but it may be more effective for you to slow down because as you have to write things out and think about them. You can type them. I've done that both because I have so many thoughts that I want to get on a paper and I forget them before I get them down if I'm handwriting it. But sometimes a slow process of writing leads us to other or different thoughts that we wouldn't have had if we're rushing through something. So encourage that. Your kids and grandkids may appreciate that as well. All right, last one for the day. Experiment with mindfulness and meditation. I'm not trying to sound new agey here, but let's keep it simple. Take some time to stop, breathe, reflect, think, kind of all these things we've been talking about ahead of time, but be purposeful about it. We are usually so rushed that we're not thinking about anything. We are focusing on so many different tasks all at once that we're not actually finding out in our own self what our own thoughts are and allowing the Holy Spirit to work in us and change our thoughts. So I thought about, as I was working through this today, our title today was What Was That Movie About? And I thought of this as I was trying to sum up these things for today. I watched a movie last night. I probably got 20, 30 minutes into it, and I said, well, when is something going to happen? Really, nothing happened in this movie. I was waiting for a plot or a murder or something intense or exciting to happen, right? We're used to superhero movies, and there's always some kind of action going on. And it really was just this woman traveling around the country, and it did have great cinematography. It was in the desert. They were on the Pacific Ocean and so forth. So as I get about halfway through this movie, I paused it and I looked it up on Wikipedia to see, am I missing something? Because I'd heard so much about it. To see if, so I wanted to read, am I missing some symbolism? Is there something else going on that because it was later at night. So as I was looking it up on Wikipedia, I discovered that it won the Oscar for Best Picture, Best Actress, and Best Director for that movie in that year. So I thought, well, that was surprising to me because really nothing happened. Then I realized that maybe there was, the reason that this was awarded and recognized was there's something about us that recognizes this need for wandering or reflecting or just taking in the movies, these scenic vistas. Maybe there's something about us that realizes the need for mindfulness and reflection. So I don't know really why. They didn't ask me to vote for Academy Awards, and that's probably why. But anyway, so our verses today that I wanted to leave you with are from the book of Ecclesiastes, but I'm not going to read them to you because there's 9 of them altogether, and they're sort of similar, and you might have to read a verse ahead of time and a verse before or after just to get a little context. But your assignment is to take some time today, look them up, and reflect on them yourself. I put the references in the post details. They're all from the book of Ecclesiastes. If you're not familiar with the book, it's written by Solomon, who is widely considered the wisest and richest man who ever lived. And because he's the wisest, he may have some important things to say to us. So the verses that I gave you are several verses that he talks about chasing after things. And I want you to see, spoiler alert, he found that they were all useless to chase after. So we'll see what those things are. But anyway, I want you to read his reflections about what he felt about chasing after certain things. So that's your assignment for today. Let me know how it goes. Like, share this post. Next time, I'll give you the last 2 things that you can do to unhurry your life, and then we'll move on to something else, maybe next Friday. Hopefully we'll be back on Monday to do the... Well, I won't be back on Monday. I don't know when I'll get to. Maybe next Friday before I'm back again. But before I go, I'm giving you permission right now to take just 1 minute after this video ends and stop and breathe. Pretend that this video was 1 minute longer than it actually is. But take that minute and stop and breathe just for a moment. You're not doing anything but watching social media anyway. Give thanks. Maybe that's what you need to do. Pray. Just 1 minute. Okay? So I'm giving you permission to do that, and I want you to start now.